Hi guys, I hope this video finds you doing really well. Today we're going to continue talking about inequalities in lesson 13. And in fact, today we're going to look at ways in which we can compare numbers from story problems in terms of inequalities. So we're going to be writing expressions today and really comparing those expressions to other numbers. So I wanted to review very quickly, just a reminder for you guys what an inequality is. So an inequality is really comparing two numbers, and we can do that in a lot of different ways. So when we're comparing two numbers, so for example, if we're comparing 2 and 5, we're going to use an inequality symbol to state whether or not, or whether the first number is smaller or greater than the other number, the second number. So we're saying is 2 greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to 5. And when I'm thinking about this, I know that 2 is less than 5. So I can write an inequality symbol that says that 2 is less than 5. If I had this the other way around and I had 5 and 2, I would use my inequality symbol to represent that 5 is greater than 2. So we're talking about something being greater than another number, and that's represented by an inequality symbol that's pointing to the right. We're also talking about things that are less than, whoops, that was supposed to be an L. Okay, less than another number, and so your inequality symbol would point to the left. We can say less than or equal to as well. Less than or equal to. So I'm going to say that. Less than or equal to is represented by an inequality symbol that looks like that. We can also say greater than, and I'm sorry this is getting smaller, greater than or equal to, and we represent our inequality symbol like that. So today we're going to start out by just understanding story problems. And then as we get further along in this lesson, we're going to understand how we can compare numbers in story problems using inequalities. So let's read together our opening exercise. It's called Writing Inequality Statements. It says Tarek is trying to save $265.49 to buy a new tablet. Right now, he has $40 and can save $38 a week from his allowance. Write and evaluate an expression to represent the amount of money saved after, and then they give us the number of weeks. So the first thing that I'm going to do in this problem is write an expression that will allow me to figure out after 2 weeks, how much money does he have saved? After 3 weeks, how much money does he have saved? And so on. So they told me that right now he has $40. So I'm going to write that down first. And he's saving $38 a week from there on out from his allowance. So to that, I'm going to add $38, and he's saving that each week. So I'm going to put a W there to represent that he's saving $38 per week. And then that will allow me to plug in the number of weeks in for W to solve for how much money I'll be able to save, or he'll be able to save after that number of weeks. So this is what we're going to do for these first couple of problems. So we're first looking at 2 weeks. We're wondering how much will Tarek have saved after 2 weeks? Because ultimately we're trying to figure out how long it's going to take him to save $265.49. So I'm going to write my expression 40 plus 38. And it gave me the number of weeks 2. So I'm going to multiply 38 by 2 because I'm going to multiply 38 by my number of weeks. So I'm going to rewrite this after I figure out what 38 times 2 is. And 38 times 2 is 76. So now I have 40 plus 76. And I'm going to add those numbers together because they're like terms. And I figure out after 2 weeks, he's going to have saved $116. Now, at the end of this problem, we're going to have to figure out at how many weeks at least does he need to save for in order to save $265.49. So we can see at 2 weeks, we're not there yet. We need to save for a larger number of weeks before we get to $265.49. Let's try 3 weeks. How much money will he have saved after 3 weeks? So now I have 40 plus 38 times 3. So I'm going to rewrite my problem as 40 plus 38 times 3 is 114. So now I'm going to add together 114 and 40, and I get 154. So he's going to save $154 after 3 weeks. So not quite. It doesn't get us to $265.49. He can't buy his tablet yet. Let's try 4 weeks. So now I have 40 plus 38 times 4. And so 40 plus 38 times 4 is 152. So now I'm going to add 152 and 40, and I get $192. So after 4 weeks, he has saved $192, which is still not $265.49. So I still don't have enough money to buy that tablet. Let's try after 5 weeks, and I'm going to move 5 weeks up here so I have a bit more room. So 40 plus 38 times 5, and I'm going to rewrite that because 38 times 5 is 190. So now I have 190 plus 40, which equals $230. So after 5 weeks, he has saved $230, which is still not $265.49. So in my next slide, I have 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and 8 weeks. So I'm still working this out. So I have 40 plus 38 times 6. And so I have 40 plus 38 times 6 is 228. And when I add 228 plus 40, I get $268. Now remember, I'm trying to save $265.49. So at this point, at 6 weeks, I have enough money saved. Let's see what happens after 7 weeks. So after 7 weeks, I have 40 plus 38 times 7. And 38 times 7 is 266. So I have $306 saved after 7 weeks. So that's more than my $265.49. What about after 8 weeks? So now I have 40 plus 38 times 8. So 40 plus 38 times 8 is 304. And so that equals $344. After 8 weeks, that's how much I have saved. So my next question says, when will Tarek have enough money to buy the tablet? He will have enough money at 6 weeks and beyond. So, because remember, he's saving $268 by 6 weeks. So he can save for 6 weeks or greater in order to buy his tablet. So, from 6 weeks onward, Tarek will have enough money saved for his tablet. Okay, our final question on this slide says, write an inequality that will generalize the problem. So this is what you're going to see in the remainder of the problems. We're writing inequalities to solve, to determine, in this case, how many weeks Tarek will have to save for at least in order to save $265.49 to buy his tablet. So we need to pay close attention to the wording. So I already know on one side of my inequality, I'm going to have 38W plus 40 because Tarek has $40 to begin with and he's saving $38 per week. Now, I need to choose whether I'm going to use the greater than or equal to sign, the less than or equal to sign, the greater than sign, or the less than sign when I am comparing this side of my equation to $265.49. $265.49. So we determined that he needs to save for at least 6 weeks. So it needs to be either less than or equal to $265.49 or greater than or equal to $265.49. It can't be greater than or less than. It has to be greater than or equal to, because I need at least $265.49. So we are going to pay attention to that wording there where it's saying he's trying to save $265.49 to buy a tablet. He needs at least that much. So we need it to be at least equal to $265.49. Now, if we have less than $265.49, we can't buy the tablet. If we have more than or greater than $265.49, we can still buy the tablet. So we're going to choose to use the inequality symbol greater than or equal to, because we can have more than the amount or we can have equal to the amount, but we cannot have less than the amount. So we're going to use that inequality symbol. And remember that W represents the number of weeks it will take to save the money. So we're going to start out by showing you guys how to write an inequality problem. And then we're going to move on to solving inequalities in order to figure out what our missing value is. So we're going to move on now to the exercises where we're going to look at similar problems, but they're going to ask us to solve that inequality. So number 1 says Connor went to the county fair with $22.50 in his pocket. He bought a hot dog and drink for $3.75 and then wanted to spend the rest of his money on ride tickets, which cost $1.25 each. Write an inequality to represent the total spent, where R is the number of tickets purchased. Okay, so we're going to use the information that they've given us to write out an inequality problem. So they told us that each ride ticket will cost $1.25 each. So we're going to include in there $1.25 R, because we don't know how many ride tickets he's actually purchasing or he can purchase. Plus, he also spent $3.75 on a hot dog and drink. And now in total, he has $22.50 to spend. So he can spend up to $22.50, but he cannot spend more than $22.50. So we're going to use the inequality symbol less than or equal to, because he can spend less than or he can spend $22.50, but he cannot spend more because he doesn't have any more money. So that is our inequality that represents the total amount spent, where R is the number of tickets that are purchased. So let's look at part B. Part B says Connor wants to use this inequality to determine whether he can purchase 10 tickets. Use substitution to show whether he will have enough money. So now they're telling us that he's purchasing 10 tickets, and they're asking us, is he going to have enough money? So we're going to write out our inequality, but instead of writing out the R, they told us that he's going to buy 10 tickets, or they're asking us, can he buy 10 tickets? So we're going to substitute the 10 for R. We're still adding that $3.75 because he still bought that hot dog and the drink. And we're going to leave our inequality sign less than or equal to $22.50, because if this added up is greater than $22.50, then obviously he can't buy 10 tickets. So we need to solve this inequality and see if he can purchase 10 tickets or not. So $1.25 times 10 is $12.50. So we've got $12.50 plus $3.75. And as long as that is less than or equal to $22.50, then Connor can buy 10 tickets. And when we add up $12.50 plus $3.75, we get $16.25. And it is a true statement to say that $16.25 is less than or equal to $22.50. So that means that Connor will have enough money to buy 10 tickets. So Connor will have enough money. we have solved our inequality, or we have shown that our inequality allows him to buy at least 10 tickets. In fact, he can buy more than 10 tickets because 10 tickets only takes him to $16.25. So let's look at part C of this problem. It says, what is the total maximum number of tickets he can buy based upon the given information? Now they want us to actually solve that inequality. So remember, our inequality was $1.25 R because each ticket cost $1.25. Plus, he spent $3.75 on a hot dog and a drink, I think. A hot dog and a drink, yep. And all of that needs to be less than or equal to $22.50 because that's all the money he brought to the fair. So we're now going to solve this inequality just like we've been solving linear equations. We're trying to figure out how many tickets he can buy with his $22.50. So right now I'm looking at this inequality and I see that $3.75 is positive. And because I'm trying to get R by itself, I want to get rid of that $3.75 on the left side of my equation. So to do that, I'm going to do the opposite of addition, which is subtraction, and I'm going to subtract $3.75 from both sides of my equation. So minus $3.75. Okay, so when I do $22.50 minus $3.75, I get $18.75. So I'm going to rewrite out my inequality now with what I have left. I've got 125R is less than or equal to 1875. Now, remember, when we see a number followed by a letter, it means that that number is being multiplied by that letter. So we need to do the opposite of multiplication, and we need to divide both sides of our inequality by $1.25. So I'm going to divide both sides by $1.25. And that means that I have left over R is less than, and when I divide $18.75 by $1.25, I get 15. So he can buy 15 tickets at most with his $22.50. He cannot buy more because he won't have enough money. So we're going to write that out. He can buy 15 tickets at most. He doesn't have enough money to buy any more tickets than 15. He has enough money to buy less than 15 tickets, but not more than 15 tickets. So that's how we're going to solve an inequality for our missing variable. So let's look at another one before I set you guys free for your homework. It says, write and solve an inequality statement to represent the following problem. On a particular airline, checked bags can weigh no more than 50 pounds. So they told us no more than 50 pounds. So that means that that checked bag has to be less than or equal to 50 pounds. Sally packed 32 pounds of clothes, so I'm going to write that down, 32 pounds of clothes and 5 identical gifts in a suitcase that weighs 8 pounds. Okay, so I'm going to write this information out. Plus 5G, because we're not sure how much each gift weighs, plus the weight of the suitcase, which is 8 pounds. And all of that needs to be less than or equal to 50 pounds. So it asked us to write and solve our inequality statement. So firstly, I'm going to combine like terms. So I'm going to combine this 32 and this 8. And when I do that, I get 40. So 40 plus 5G, remember the weight of each gift, is less than or equal to 50. I'm keeping all of that the same. And now I'm going to solve my inequality. So right now, 40 is being added to the left side of my inequality. So I need to subtract 40 to get 5G all by itself. So minus 40 from both sides of my inequality, because whatever I do to one side, just like when we were doing linear equations, I have to do to my other side. So I'm left with 5G is less than or equal to 10. Okay, now I see that that 5 is being multiplied by that G. So I'm going to divide both sides of my inequality by 5 to get G all by itself, because I'm trying to figure out how much each of those gifts can weigh at most. So I end up with G is less than or equal to 2 pounds. So that means that each of the 5 gifts, I'm going to write this out, each of the 5 gifts, and I'm sorry guys, my pen keeps writing, each of the 5 gifts can weigh 2 pounds or less, okay? That less than or equal to means they can weigh up to 2 pounds or they can weigh less than 2 pounds, but they cannot weigh more than 2 pounds. If they weigh more than 2 pounds, then her bag will be heavier than 50 pounds and she won't be able to check her bag. So that is the way that we solve inequalities to determine a missing variable. So you guys are going to have an exit ticket that is exactly like this problem. They're going to ask you a question and you need to solve that inequality. You need to create an inequality and then solve it for whatever they're asking you for. And then that's on GoFormative. You'll find a link on Google Classroom. And then your problem set, you have 3 problems. You actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 problems. Okay. So for the first one, they give you a sentence and you need to match that sentence with the inequality. You can use a choice more than once. You're going to edit a background in order to do that on GoFormative. For number 2, you're going to solve the inequality. And for number 3, or the last problem that you have, you are going to create an inequality and solve that inequality for what they're asking you for. So please email me if you have any questions. I will see you, no, I won't see you tomorrow. You will have another YouTube video from me tomorrow for the math lesson for the day. You guys have a wonderful day. Please email me if you have any questions. Thank you.